Shalom, our dear friends, and welcome to Parshat Vayishlach. There is almost impossible for anyone around the world who listen to news or read newspaper and would not hear the name Israel. So I have a question for you. How many of you have you heard of Hermonis? Probably not very few. The reason I'm asking because they're a group of people in Japan that they are called this, but Hermonis, you haven't heard of it. Probably 99.99% of people around the world, they have not heard of this group. But how is it that we Jews are only 15 million people, 0.3% of 1% of the world population, but everyone hears the name Israel every day on the news? So, what is the first time the word Israel appears in Torah? That is this week Parshat, where the name of Jacob changes from Yaakov to Israel. So, what does Israel means? Israel means having wrestled with the challenges of life and having overcome that. If I was writing the Torah, I probably would say when Moshe goes through to receive the Torah after 40 days of not drinking, eating, fasting, and elevating himself to this higher being, that's when Hashem says, from now on, you are not called Yaakov, you are called Israel. But why? If you look at how the name Israel comes in this big parasha, you will be amazed and you would have to ask a question. Why is it that at this moment his name changes? So Torah is very specific to say in this big parasha that Yaakov is extremely depressed. Wow. Have you ever been extremely depressed? Who has not been ever depressed in your life? Asadi has a beautiful poetry. It says that if you have not been depressed, if you have had nights that you couldn't sleep because you were worried about something, then you are not worthy to know the pain of other people. Actually, Buddhism begins with this, that Buddha is a prince and he's born in this very wealthy family and they keep him in the palace because they don't want him to go out to see any pain and suffering. And even when the people around are getting older, they get sick, they immediately remove them, bring young people, healthy people, because they want to imprint in the mind of Buddha that life is a beautiful place. And then what happens? One day he goes out and he sees that people are sick, he sees people are suffering, and finally he concludes that world is a place of suffering and we have come to this world to suffer. This is his experience. Now come on, let's see what happens in Torah, and when Yaakov is faced with suffering, what happens? So, to better understand the Torah ideology of perfection, we need to understand something very, very important. We've talked a lot about it, that in the secular world, the word love is that I need things, and as people give me those, then I love those things. And if there are very emotional things and people involved, then we say, I love you because you fill up my vacancies, my needs, my desires. But Torah love is about giving. So you need to be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You need to be full. You need to be giving. How you become loving, That's how perfection of human being come in Torah. Now, if we follow this avot, now you see what an amazing way of life Torah is says to be. Abraham is born in a very, very, very rich father, Terach. He's the biggest idol maker, and those days that was the Walmart of the world. Everybody went to buy from him. He had a lot of money. And what does Hashem tells Abraham? Leave your country, leave your city, leave your home, and go away to where you even don't know where to go. That's the biggest giving a person can do, to leave all your belonging and to go. That makes you a different person. And then in the form of Yitzchak, he's born in a rich family of Abraham and Sarah, and he's the only child of these people, as after 9 years for Sarah, 100 years for Abraham, he gets everything he wants. He becomes a taker. And when he became a taker, at the age of 37, his father says, son, come. It's a time for you to go the next level. And you go to the next level, you have to give, and you have to give the most precious thing, which is your life. And he agrees to do that. And then he elevates to be a different human being. Now let's take a look at the life of Yaakov. And let's take a look at every time Torah talks about Yaakov. The first time it's talked about in the when he's born, that he's holding on to food of Esau. He's holding on to something. Then the next time he's talking about he's buying the first birthright of his brother Esau. He's holding on. He wants to hold on to the birthright. And the third time Torah talks about it is in form of he wants to hold on and take to the bracha that his father mistakenly was thinking that this bracha is for Esau, but Yaakov goes and grabs it. And then this grabbing goes on with his father-in-law, and then he comes, and his brother, who hates him, and he swears that he's going to kill him, come with 400 men to kill him. But this is the picture at night. Yaakov hears at night that his brother is coming. He's right there with 400 soldiers to decimate him and his children, his entire family. And this is why that night Yaakov is extremely depressed, because he thinks this is the end of his life. And so that night he's left alone. At some point, every one of us have to be left alone, because it's our challenge. It is our mission to take a look at and face our life and to see who have been, and any of us which is taken, which is almost all of us, at some point has to change, has to become a giver. And Koskil Rebbe says every human being is a taker. We want to take and take, but when we stand under the chuppah, something happens that from me, it becomes about you. And we change, and from being a taker, become a giver. And that night, when Yaakov going through wrestling of his life and challenges that he has had, he become a different person. And then through these challenges, through the breakdown, he finds a dream of being Israel, the one who can overcome all the challenges of life, Israel. And the next morning, he sends such a huge gift to his brother. And his brother Esau, who has sworn to kill him, when he comes to see him, he sees a different, transformed person. Esau cannot kill Yaakov anymore. He hugs him, he kisses him, and he says, take away all your gift. You're my dear brother. I love you. I don't need your gift. And what does Yaakov says? Yaakov says, no, I have everything. Because when you find out that you're a giver, then you become loving. That's your love that you give. You have everything. With that, it's become a different person, a transformed person, and there's no more killing and animosity between him and his brother Esau. On the other hand, they hug each other, and Esau begs him that, come, let's be together like a two loving brother. And then Yaakov says an amazing thing. He says, you go ahead. I will catch up with you later. And some people even go on to say that Trump is a reincarnation of Esau. He has come back to rectify the problem in the family with Yaakov, with Israel. And this is why he loves Israel so much, and oneness and all that. So let's all, through our challenges, learn to become a giver, transform to be a loving being, and B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem will bring all the great things in our life. Shabbat Shalom.